Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Yankee Stadium.
How's it going, everybody? Yankees open up a series against the Red Sox in Boston tonight. Things have not been going well, and we've got a lot more angry voicemails. It seems like the day off didn't do anything to bring people's temperature down, and the voicemails just kept flooding in yesterday, so I've got a ton of voicemails for you. This is going to be a critical weekend as we approach the trade deadline, which is at 6 p.m. on Tuesday. As you can see, my cat is very excited about it. I think that the Yankees should try and act early if they can. Make a move before the series. It would be great if we could pick somebody up today and have them in the lineup tonight. I know that's unrealistic, but look, you're playing in a stadium that's known for offense. And the Yankees have got to put up some runs this weekend. I mean, it's been a disaster. I'm a little bit worried that they'll make a trade on Saturday afternoon because I'm going to see the new Deadpool movie. And typically this time of year, I don't like to get out of the house at all. I just like to sit here and wait for stuff to happen. But we've had these tickets for a while, so we're going to go see it. And hopefully there's no trades like while I'm locked away. But if news breaks while I'm in the movie theater, I'll get home and I'll do a podcast right away about it. Anyway, Yankees in Boston tonight. Hopefully they can turn it around, but Boston's been playing really well, and this is a chance for Boston to really put a hurting on the Yankees as they try and climb up the standings. So let's get to your voicemails. Let's see what's on your mind.
I live in New York City. I cannot believe you had the balls to do it.
Hello, my name is Connor Eady, phone from Washington Township, New Jersey. I just want to let you know the Yankees suck.
I listen to these voicemails every day. This is my life.
I watch the Yankees every day. Boone's got to go.
I will say that it seems like fans are getting tired of his act. They're getting tired of his same phrases after bad losses. It's right there in front of us. I thought we had great at-bats. I think we're turning the corner. It's clear that he can't get this team to recover when they go into long droughts like they are this year and like they've had really the last 5 years under his leadership, if you want to call it leadership. But I have seen more people join the Fire Boone train over the last several weeks than I had seen in the previous 4 or 5 years. Most of the blame has fallen on Cashman, and rightfully so. Cashman has done a piss-poor job putting this team together. But I've seen a lot more people really ticked off at Aaron Boone over the last several weeks.
Hey, Derek, this is Robert. Great show. Got a question, I guess kind of a fantasy question. If we could get one player during the trade deadline, a lights-out closer reliever or an infielder with an 800 OPS, which one would you take?
800 OPS infielder. I'm not sure there's a lot of those guys available, but if there were, that would be my choice because they can impact the lineup on a daily basis. A closer is super, super important. We've seen that. But I do think that the Yankees have other options, and I don't think they should stick with Clay Holmes. But I'd be perfectly comfortable going with Luke Weaver as the closer, for example. Jack Neely in the minor leagues could get called up. He's got closer stuff. He could be one of those young impact arms. And I think there's other guys out there like Tanner Scott who could do the job. We saw A.J. Puck got traded yesterday, so it won't be him. Mason Miller actually punched the table and ended up on the injured list, so it's not going to be him. So be interesting to see what happens over the next few days. We are now 4 days from the trade deadline.
Hey, Derek, what's going on? This is Bobby the Bear down here in Atlanta doing my power walk tonight. I've had 2 days of terrible rain down here, plus the Yankee losses. So, yeah, ain't looking all that pretty. But tonight I'm ecstatic, bruh, because number one, I see that the sky is blue and the Yankees are off. No heartache tonight, dude. Yeehaw!
That's a good yeehaw, dude, and can't lose if you don't play.
Hey, my man, this is Dan. Love the NYY Recaps. Just a quick question on Boone. As befuddling as he is as a manager and how he just kind of repeats the same mantra over and over and over again after embarrassing loss and deep funks, As frustrating as that is, I think it might be even more frustrating, and I really don't understand this thought process, and was just calling to get your thoughts on it. Why are Yankee fans so quick to defend him and say, well, he doesn't bat, he doesn't field, and this, that, and the other thing? I put a lot of the blame on Boone. I understand that thought process, but I also think it's extremely important to get a new voice in there, which, and sadly doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon. All right, thanks for taking the call.
Well, I understand the people who say Aaron Boone doesn't bat, Aaron Boone doesn't field, Aaron Boone isn't pitching, because it's true. The players have got to execute. These guys make a lot of money, but Aaron Boone has also got to get the most out of these players. That's part of the job description of a manager. And the Yankees recently, in the last 4 or 5 years, when they fall into a slump, right, he is not capable of pulling them out of it. We see some lineup tweaks. We see some manager ejections for arguing balls and strikes. But everything that he tries to get this team going again just doesn't work. It could be just one of those situations where he's a bad fit. He's a good manager, but he's a bad fit for the current locker room. That's a thing. But, I totally feel your frustration. And a lot of Yankees fans, obviously, from the number of calls we got, feel your frustration and share it.
Hey, Derek, what's going on? This is Logan from Richmond, Virginia. Yeah, I wish this was some sort of a highly analytical sabermetric call where I'm going to break down Anthony Volpe's Ex-Awoba Mario Kart or something, but really I'm just here to rant to whatever cosmic entities there are to fire Brian Cashman. I have no idea how he survived missing the playoffs 3 out of 4 years from 13 to 16, and he should have been gone any number of years or any number of times between 2020 and 2024 now. I mean, we're witnessing our third collapse in 4 years, whatever it is. I mean, it's hard to remember, but in the COVID season, we had a terrible run, too, after starting out hot, even though the season was only 60 games.
The frustration with Boone is obviously palpable from these voicemails. And I don't blame these callers. And I agree a lot with what they're saying. I don't love the idea of firing a manager mid-season when you're within striking distance of a division championship. But the Orioles have been losing a lot. They've been giving the Yankees a lot of opportunities, and Boone just has not been able to get this team off the mat. I don't know why so many players regress when they come here. I refuse to believe that it's the city. I think it's something within the organization. But so many guys just either fail to live up to their potential, or they just regress when they come here, or they go in prolonged slumps. I mean, Verdugo's not a 230 hitter, and he's hitting 230. It's on the manager. It's on Aaron Boone to get the most out of these guys, and he just doesn't seem to be able to do it. It's also on Cashman to bring in better guys. Fix whatever's wrong deep within the system that's causing this mess.
Hey, Derek. Thanks for the therapy session. Boy, this is rough. Let's see. I'm looking here, the last 34 games. The Yanks are 11-23. We are playing as bad as the pathetic Chicago White Sox. All right. So I watched the Boone post game. He was a little pissed off. Like Boone, I know Boone likes to go after reporters and umpires, but never his players. You know, he's a player coach. We all know. And again, I kid you not, I'm sure you've heard it now. It's right in front of us. It's right in front of us. Okay. Here's the thing, though. I've been seeing a lot of comments like, oh, let's trade Soto, you know, let's rebuild. I mean, listen, man. Yes, we look terrible, but the Yanks are only a game and a half. And, you know, we are, 16 games over 500, 1644. So, I mean, no, not just yet. If we were 10 games out, maybe, but that's a really dumb thing to say.
The Yankees aren't going to rebuild during the season. I'm hoping they can rebound during the season. I'm hoping they can recover during the season. But most of all, I want to see some guys step up. I want to see Volpe finally come into his own and have a really long stretch, a really good second half where he plays exceptionally well. I want to see Gleyber Torres have a big series here against the Red Sox and show that those 2 home runs that he hit at Yankee Stadium were not a fluke, and maybe he's putting it back together. I want to see DJ do more than hit into double plays. I want to see Verdugo get it going again. He had a good series in Boston that last time that we were there, and since then he's pretty much gone in the toilet. I want to see the Yankees really take some strides offensively internally. I want Giancarlo Stanton to come back. I want Ben Rice to get it going again. We need this entire lineup to step up and play ball. Right now, their body language is bad. They don't look like a winning baseball team. You look at teams like the Mets, the Guardians. They have all this energy on the bench. They're in every play. Their heads are in it. They're excited for baseball. They want to win. I don't see that from the Yankees anymore. We saw it earlier this year, but we don't see it right now.
I did some numbers crunching, and I thought you would find this interesting. But since 2020, things like the same things keeps happening. I know we kind of know that, but 2020 they started 16-6. Then they went 5-15 after that. Then won 10 in a row, and then finished 2-7. 2021 they started 5-10, then went on a 23-9 stretch, then went on a 13-22 stretch right after that. Right after that, they go on a 35-11 stretch, and in that stretch was the 13-game winning streak. Right after the 13-game winning streak, they go on a 3-12 stretch, and then finish the season on an 8-3 stretch. It's just bizarre. 2022, they start 61-23. Then they finish the season 38-39. In that 38-39, they go on a 3-14 stretch, and then a 13-25 stretch. 2023, they start 36-25. Judge gets hurt. I know that's part of it, but still they finish 46-55 the rest of the way. Awful. And then obviously what's happening this year, they're 50-22 to start. Now they've gone 10-22. Same thing keeps happening. It's a pattern. I don't know why they're not seeing this pattern, but just want your thoughts. It's alarming. Two common denominators, Boone and Cashman. Both got to go.
My quantitative, my math specialist.
I appreciate the call. I appreciate you doing the math for us. Look, if this team collapses again, and we're in the midst of a collapse, but if this team somehow misses the playoffs or gets a wild card and goes 0-2 and then is gone, I think it's somebody's ass. I think, Cashman or Boone or both could be out of here. It will send shockwaves through the organization, and it will disrupt the winter at a time when you're trying to re-sign Juan Soto. Soto grew up a Mets fan from what I've heard. And, we just played the Mets. The Mets just swept the season series from us. He saw a young team that's growing and getting better. He's going to get a $500 or $600 million offer from them. At this point, if you're Juan Soto, don't you probably take that deal? The Mets look like they have a brighter future than the Yankees, especially with Juan Soto. So, he's kind of a linchpin. And Cashman is stuck between a rock and a hard place, because if you pay him, you can't really improve the roster that much. Your farm system has not been producing a lot of substantial major league talent. Maybe that changes with Dominguez and Jones. Maybe it does. Maybe this Neely guy can come up and dominate out of the pen. Maybe that'll change, But right now, if I'm Brian Cashman, my bald ass head is sweating. And I know about sweaty bald heads now. All right, today's Nostraderek prediction. Nostraderek off to a tough start. 1 for 4 this season, but Alex Verdugo picking up a double. He picked up a ton of doubles last year in Boston as a member of the Red Sox. I think he's going to pop one off the monster. He's been hitting the ball a little bit better to the opposite field, and being back in Boston where he's used to hitting, I think he's going to use the monster well. Double for Verdugo.
Ball game on.